Hello and welcome. My name is Christopher Keaveney, and I am an assistant professor of the humanities in the Global Liberal Arts program at Rikkyo University. Today, I will be introducing the Peace Program. The Peace Program is our new English language undergraduate program. I'd like to first introduce the university, talk about Rikkyo. Then I will introduce the Peace Program and the 3 academic programs participating in Peace. I'll talk about student support at Rikkyo. We'll talk about student life. And I'll talk about the costs of an education. Finally, I'll talk about the application requirements and the application process. First of all, a little bit about Rikkyo University. The first thing I want to say about Rikkyo is that it has a long history. It was founded in 1874 by American missionaries associated with the Anglican Church. It was chartered in 1922, which means we have a very exciting anniversary coming up soon. It's a private Christian liberal arts institution, and it's a large institution with nearly 20,000 students. Among those 20,000 students, about 19,000 are undergraduates, and there are about 1,000 graduate students. There are also about 725 degree-seeking international students, so a large student body of international students. The third thing I'll say about Rikkyo University is that it's located in Tokyo. And Tokyo, of course, is one of the great international cities in the world, one of the largest cities in East Asia. And it's located in a very exciting area of Tokyo called Ikebukuro, one of the hubs of Tokyo, which means there's easy access throughout Japan and easy and convenient access to 2 international airports. There's a second campus in Saitama in the city of Niza, about 35 minutes away from the main campus. Just a few numbers. Let me provide a few numbers to give a sense of Rikkyo University's status in Japan. First of all, it has been designated a top global university by the Ministry of Education in recognition of the strong international profile of the university. It has been rated a number 3 best private university and number 1 for international outlook by the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. It has a long history of government research grants, and in fact, in 2015 was ranked number 1 among private universities for research grants. And finally, given the strong profile I'm describing to you now, it's not surprising, I suppose, that it has a very high employment rate for its graduates. In fact, as of 2020, about 98% of graduates found employment quickly after graduation. The Peace Program that I'm describing today, the new undergraduate English language program, is in fact an acronym. And you can read the acronym here. I won't read it for you. But I will say that the goals of the Peace Program are to create students, to foster students who have abilities, communication skills, strong analysis skills, to contribute in some way to making a more ethical and peaceful society. There are 3 academic programs under the aegis of peace, and I would like to describe each of those programs now. The first is Peace CIC, the College of Intercultural Communications. As you can imagine, given the name, the program and the college are dedicated to fostering strong communication skills in students. And there are 5 potential majors for students to choose from among. The first is language studies, which includes both Japanese language pedagogy and English language pedagogy. The second, translation and interpreting studies. The third, communication skills. And finally, global studies. Among the exciting courses offered by Peace CIC are communication and citizenship, international development and cooperation. Multiculturalism, of course, is a very important issue around the world, and there's a course offered in the department called Multiculturalism in Japan. For those students interested in the topic of bilingualism, there's a course about bilingualism, and there's also a course in interpretation. And finally, there's a very exciting course which is geared towards all students, but maybe especially of interest to international students, called Tokyo Studies, which includes walking tours of the city of Tokyo, cultural and historical sites. The second program I'd like to introduce is the Global Liberal Arts Program. That's the program in which I teach. We call it GLAP. The Global Liberal Arts program celebrates the strong liberal arts tradition at Rikkyo University. Liberal arts education is, in fact, in many ways, the core of the Rikkyo University education. And GLAP is best thought of as a small liberal arts college, liberal arts program in the university. Students choose from among 3 majors or concentrations: business, citizenship, and humanities. And they decide on a major in the 3rd year. So this is what we call the late specialization feature, whereby students take a variety of courses and choose their major later in their academic program. The program is based on a strong relationship between instructors and students, and is a very high faculty to student ratio in this program, which means that students get individual attention and individual advising from the beginning until their graduation. Among the courses offered by GLAP are tutorial. Tutorial is our course for incoming students. All first-year students take tutorial. It's capped at 4 or 5 students, so there's a strong relationship between the instructor and students. Students give presentations in every class. It sets the tone for the rest of the program. Among the other courses we have in the program are intercultural business, postmodern turn in Japanese arts, so again, business and the humanities, and gender and minority studies, representing our citizenship major. We also have UN and international organizations course. And finally, study abroad is available for all students. International students would not be required to study abroad, but if they chose to study abroad, that would be part of the program. In fact, we have over 20 partner institutions in North America, Europe, and Asia. So students are certainly welcome and encouraged to study abroad during their time in the program. The 3rd program under the Aegis of Peace is the business course of the Department of International Business Law. This is designed for students to hone business skills from an international perspective. It helps to cover how to conduct trade negotiations and how to prevent or resolve disputes from a legal perspective. It does not make you a lawyer, but it prepares you for a career in law, international business, or government. Among the courses offered in this new program, and it's a brand new program that starts in 2022, are Introduction to Legal Studies, Corporate Law, International Business Law, which is again the heart and soul of the program. And finally, there is the opportunity to study abroad. In fact, there is cooperation between Rikkyo University and Oxford University in England, which would allow students to collaborate and the potential for study abroad. I would like now to talk a little bit about support, how Rikkyo University supports international students, because obviously we know it's a big move to come to a new country and to study abroad. So Rikkyo University provides various levels of support. First of all, students are required to live in the International Student Dormitory for the first year. I'll introduce that dormitory in a moment. There's also an orientation for international students, and there's the international office, which helps with everything from housing, scholarships, to immigration. Health is very important. We have a clinic on campus with an English-speaking physician. We also have an annual health checkup, and there's student counseling as well for mental health needs. For students with disabilities, we have a Students with Disabilities office. We also recognize that Japanese language education is a critical component of your experience here, and there's a Japanese language education center. And finally, there's a career center that helps with internships and ultimately with finding your career. Life at university is about more than academics. Academics is certainly the center, but there's so much more to student life. And so let me just say a few words about student life. First of all, there are a number of clubs and circles at the university which bring students together around common interests, whether they're athletics, culture, or service organizations. There's a sports facility, and there's a world-class pool for students to exercise on their own. And finally, there's something we call the Global Lounge, which is a place where international students get together with Japanese students, and there are events. In fact, down in the picture below at the bottom, you can see them doing printmaking. They also have trips to various sites around the Kanto region that are sponsored by the Global Lounge. So a great way to meet other students. Let me say a few more words about housing. I mentioned a moment ago that living in a dormitory is required for all incoming students. And students will live at DK House Nerima, which is about 30 minutes from the main campus. The fourth floor of this dormitory is reserved for our Peace students. And students have single rooms, and they live together with other students in the program. And in fact, in the dormitory, there are students from other institutions as well. Along with professional staff, there's also an upperclassman we call the residential supporter, who lives alongside of the first-year students and provides support for the student life needs. Students have their own room, but they share common spaces. There's a dining room. You can prepare your own food in the kitchen and dine together with others. There's also shared study space and other shared facilities. After the first year, some students can decide to continue to live in student housing. But you can also live in an apartment with your friends or live in a share house. And Rikkyo University, again, provides support in terms of finding housing from second to fourth year. Let me say a word about something very important, and that is the cost of the education. The tuition, the annual tuition for both the PCIC and the international law programs is about $10,000 US, about $10,000 US. The Global Liberal Arts program, which is a smaller, more intimate program, again, kind of a small honors college, is about $17,000, reflecting the strong attention that students receive from their instructors and the high student to faculty ratio. Housing is about $500 to $600 per month, depending on, of course, where you live and the circumstances under which you live. And there's also, of course, food and transportation to and from the university. Finally, there's the cost of transportation from home country to Japan. Even when you factor all of that together, the cost of an education at Rikkyo University is about half of what it would be at a comparable private university in the United States, making it a bargain. I will say that the news gets better because we also offer scholarships for international students, targeted specifically at international students. The first of those scholarship opportunities is open only to incoming students. So this is directed at new students, and it's called the Rikkyo Promising Future Scholarship. It's based on your application and your motivations for coming to Rikkyo and your performance in high school. It's generous. It's about the cost of nearly the tuition for the first year, 1 million Japanese yen for an academic year. And if you enroll in September, it's actually 1.5 million yen for the year, which really helps to defray the cost of education for that first year. Thereafter, from second year to fourth year, students are also eligible for another scholarship called the Rikkyo Exceptional Student Scholarship. Now, this scholarship is based entirely on your performance. So if you do a good job, you perform well in your classes, you work hard and perform well, you're eligible for this generous scholarship, which also pays for much of the cost of the tuition. There's no guarantee about either of these scholarships, but they are available. They're competitive, but they are available to all international students, and they're only open to students in this program. Let me say a few words about entrance requirements, and I will say at the beginning that these are different depending on the country of origin. First of all, any student who is applying for this program must have completed 12 years or more of education prior to entering the program. Students write a personal statement in which they describe their motivations for participating in the program. It's only open to non-Japanese citizens, so you have to be a non-Japanese passport holder to apply for the program. Thereafter, the requirements depend on country of origin. The United States has its own requirements, United Kingdom, Singapore, Hong Kong. You can see a list of all of the schools down below. The website looks like this. And if you go to this website, again, the URL I just provided, you'll see on the left-hand side the Peace Program right in the middle, Admission for Peace Program General Entrance Examination is what you should look at in terms of the requirements I just described. So go to the website, the left-hand side, right in the middle, Admission for Peace Program General Entrance Examination, and you'll see the requirements and the application itself. I want to thank you for listening today. It's been my honor to introduce the program. I know that choosing a university education is a big decision, and I know that you have a lot of choices. I hope that you'll consider the Peace program. It's a new program, it's innovative. I'm proud to be part of this program. If you have questions, and you may have some questions about specifics, please contact using the email provided here. Again, you can take a screenshot of that. And you will either be given an answer or directed to the person who can answer your question. I wish you all the best in your decision about university, and we do hope that you'll consider Rikkyo. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you very much.